in this we will solve palindrome number on the Leetcode platform. So the first case we discussed that when our integer x is 0, in this case we know that the number is a palindrome, so we'll return true. The second case that we discuss is that when x is negative, right? So in that case, if x is less than 0, in that case we have to return false. Why? Because the negative sign is there in the negative number, and if we reverse it, the negative will come at the end, and there is no such number that we can say that it is a palindrome. And then we discuss when x is divisible by 10. So if x mod 10 is equal to 0, in this case we can return false. Why? Because if we have some number, let's say 90, and this number will be translated to 9, so which means that we are always going to lose this 0 at the end, and if we lose any number, then the length will be different, and in that case it cannot be palindrome. So this was the third case. And then we discussed that we have to create a reverse of the number, and we are only taking the second half of the x in the reverse, right? So while x is greater than reverse, we compute our reverse into 10 plus x mod 10, right? And then we divide x by 10. So once we get the reverse, or the second half of the x in the reverse, in the second half of the x in reverse in rev, then we can simply check whether x is equal to rev or x is equal to rev by 10. This we have already discussed, and this should tell us whether the number x is palindrome or not. I just want to add a few things why we are only doing half or the last half of the x in reverse, because let's say we know that integer max is this value, right? And let's say x is this value. We could have, what we could have done is simply we store in reverse the reverse of the x. Then in that case, what it would become? It would become 9, 999, 999, and 991. But this value actually exceeds the integer max, and we do not want to fall into the trap of what would happen if my number rev exceeds integer max, because this would actually depend upon the coding language that we are using, and we do not want to end up into that problem. So that's why we are only taking the half of it, and we know that with just half of it we can actually check x and rev to whether they are equal or not. And in that case we will just return if it is palindrome or not. So let's just run this program, and it is run successfully. Now let's just submit this to see if all the test cases are passing or not. And yeah, we have a success. So our second problem, finding whether the x is palindrome or not, is done. Thank you.